Welcome to your Monday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We love getting to be here to bring you some great information. Well, I didn't know how many holidays we could celebrate this month. It's National Dairy Month, which we're going to give you some great information on how you can celebrate. National Candy Month, and as the weather is starting to warm up, it's important that you grill out, but it's important that maybe you include everyone in the grill out. So we're going to give you some fantastic plant-based options. We're going to take a look at that local weather forecast though right now. We had a chance to catch up with celebrity chef Jamie Gwynn on National Dairy Month and what you can do to celebrate. So let's see what delicious food she's inspiring us to eat.
Well, there's always some great months out there sponsored by some delicious food. This month happens to be National Dairy Month, and I have the pleasure of being joined Zoom by Chef Jamie Gwynn. I tell you, Jamie, we were talking earlier about one of my favorite segments that you did with pork belly sliders and things like that, but that is not our topic today.
So
it's all about dairy.
That it is, and I'm very glad to be with you, Kevin. Thank you for having me. Yes, it's June Dairy Month, and so we're celebrating because now's the time to take a next level look, I'd like to say, at the dairy aisle if you haven't seen how far it's come of late. Right, when I grew up, the dairy aisle was, minimal, but it had all the standards and the basics. Today, it's often the entire length of the, back wall of your grocery store. And according to a recent survey by the National Frozen and Refrigerated Foods Association, the dairy aisle is the favorite among shoppers, which I think is really fascinating because it says something to the fact that you can get everything you need, no matter your dietary needs or your lifestyle preferences, right?
That's right. I mean, everybody always thought, oh, the dairy aisle, it's all about milk. And that's not the case anymore with all the substitutes and there's a lot of allergens out there. And the Dairy Association has done such a wonderful job getting around all that. So for those that have an allergy or just looking at a health conscious menu, this is the place to go. And you've got your butter, you've got your eggs, your yogurt, your cottage cheese, and then milk and regular cheese. So all the selections you use in just about every single recipe you can make in the kitchen.
I agree with you entirely, right? So we know the standards are there, but during June Dairy Month, you go explore, you'll see that the prices are really good. There's lots of special deals. You can keep your budget in check. But it's more than just the eggs and the yogurt and the cheese, right? You're going to find beyond those traditional staples, all of the substitutes, as you alluded to, like the plant-based options, the almond, oat, soy milk. You're going to find refrigerated doughs. You're going to find the best English muffins in the refrigerated section. You're going to find convenience items that have come a long way. Like coffee creamer is now no artificial flavors, no preservatives, no hydrogenated oils, and there are fabulous flavors. Your Greek yogurt has 17 grams of protein per portion. I think it's extraordinary to think that in the dairy aisle, you get so much more than dairy, and you get non-dairy for the non-dairy lovers. I mean, I buy European style butter in the dairy aisle because that's my butter of choice. But just to look at the breadth of butters available, by the way, chefs choose European style butter because it has a higher butter fat and a lesser water content. And so you just get a richer, more fabulous flavor, and you can use a little less. But if you think about what is in the dairy aisle, expand your culinary horizons and start cooking with some of these ingredients or incorporating them into your daily diet, because you will eat better and you will eat healthier because of it.
Yeah, you always talk about that gut check and making sure that we keep, our
Yep.
bodies in tune with everything. And I
That's
look
right.
I look at the eggs there on your table, and in big letters, it's organic. Now, a lot of people start questioning, is it really organic? Is it not? But you can't put organic on there unless it is.
Exactly. So there are very strict regulations, and I believe in that regulation about what you can label products with. And I'm so glad you pointed it out, because there is an organic regulation. And so these eggs fulfill all of those requirements. But this takes us to another conversation where you should be reading labels. And if you can take those extra few minutes and turn that product around and note that it doesn't have artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you really will get more in touch, I'd like to say, with your food. And then you feed your family better, you feel better. That's what we're all about, right? This life of doing better. And as you talk about, we're talking about our gut, we're trying to keep our bodies healthy, and there are glorious ways to do it in the dairy aisle.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chef. Now, what are some of the hot items out there? I hate to say hot in the dairy aisle, but what are some of those popular
I get
things?
it. All right, so we know cottage cheese is having its moment, right? I mean, cottage cheese is having more than a moment. Cottage cheese is like having its best year ever. And so in my house, I have a 4-year-old. Grilled cheese reigns supreme. So I was trying to figure out, how do I take grilled cheese to the morning time, right? I made a breakfast grilled cheese sandwich with cottage cheese and a little whipped cream cheese and a little bit of sweetened condensed, confectioner's sugar. And then I layered it with jam on an English muffin, the refrigerated kind. They're the best. And I toasted it in some brown butter on top of the stove. It is out of this world good.
Wow.
It's a breakfast grilled cheese sandwich. Then if you and I were to snack, this is a blistered cherry tomato toast with a lemony yogurt spread and blistered cherry tomatoes, little garlic and fresh chives on country bread. If you're making lasagna in a casserole dish, you're wasting your time, because you can make it in a muffin pan with wonton wrappers, which those come in the dairy section, right, in the refrigerated aisle. And you've got this like perfect portion control, easy peasy lasagna. Layer lots of shredded cheese and your favorite sauce in there. This is my go-to side dish for the summer, Kevin. It's a bacon cheddar scallop zucchini. So it sounds like you're eating vegetables, but it's really cheesy goodness with bacon, which is right up your alley. And then last but not least, I started using those creamers that I talked about in my recipes, because I find I have them on hand already, right? I put them in my coffee. You've never had anything better than a white chocolate raspberry bread pudding made with coffee creamer. It is so good. And all the recipes are posted at easyhomemeals.com.
easyhomemeals.com. Boy, you got me there. I'll take one of everything.
Okay, I'll send it right over.
Well, Chef, thank you so much for joining us today. I can't wait to go check out some more of your recipes. Again, I'm stuck on those pork belly sliders, just one of my favorites that we've talked about. But we'll stay tuned and kind of keep up with you on some of these great trends that are happening and celebrate National Dairy Month.
Thank you. I'm going to come in and make you pork belly sliders in person one day.
I can't wait. When you're up here hiking, biking, or skiing, you're invited in the studio.
got
We
it.
will definitely do that.
Thank you, Kevin. Happy June Dairy Month to you, and thank you for having me.
Likewise, thank you. Well,
Thank
get
you,
out
Kevin.
there, enjoy, and celebrate National Dairy Month with all those great tips that Chef Jamie Gwynn just gave us.
Are you someone who has a sweet tooth? Well, then June is the month for you, because I didn't know that it was National Candy Month, but I always have a sweet tooth. So let's see what we can inspire you to want for your sweet tooth fix.
It is National Candy Month, and I have the honor of speaking with Carly Schildhouse, the spokesperson for the National Confectioners Association, the NCA. Good morning, Carly.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me, and happy National Candy Month.
Absolutely. Well, let's start talking. You have got such a sweet job as the spokesperson. What exactly does that entail?
So the National Confectioners Association is the trade association that represents the people who make chocolate candy, gum, and mints here in the United States. So we're advocating for them. And of course, they're doing such incredible work to make sure that everybody across the US and around the world gets to enjoy treats.
It's all about that happy, balanced lifestyle. I love it. Now, what is America's favorite sweet treat right now?
Oh, that's such a good question. We did the hard research so you don't have to figure out America's favorite summer treats. Of course, chocolate is always in the mix. Something like a s'more or even just enjoying it on its own in the summer is a classic favorite. But the other four treats that round out the top five are ones that can really take the heat. So things like gummy candy, hard candies, lollipops, and the classic boardwalk favorite of taffy are perfect for summer.
Wonderful. Now, there was recently an expo, and there were some things that came out of that. What kind of sweets and snacks were featured at the expo? Anything new out there?
Oh, there's so much that is new. Innovation is really at the heart of the confectionery industry. So many products were brand new and exciting right alongside classic favorites. So different things that we saw as trends. Occasions are really big. So whether that's a product that is specific to a celebration, a candy, what we call a candy moment, or packaging that will help you, share with people depending on what you're celebrating and how you're enjoying it. A lot of what we called multi-sensory experiences. So products that have a combination of textures or flavors that you might not expect. So for example, freeze-dried candy was a big trend in the texture space. And then for flavors, we're seeing a lot of sweet and heat together. So bringing some spicy into the candy aisle. And then of course, everyone wants to know what is going to be the next big trend on social media. We see on TikTok and Instagram, so many trends are focused around candy because of how naturally innovative the products are. They really lend themselves to trending and for people to want to enjoy them with others and share them with others. So we saw a lot of products that will be perfect for social.
I know in the culinary world, there's a lot that goes on with different shapes. When you do desserts, different shapes and the pairings. And like you said, the spicy stuff that comes in and out. So you've got that salty, sweet, savory kind of mix. But you can't eat candy without a huge smile on your face. What is that connection between candy and emotional well-being?
It's such a good question. Like you said, chocolate and candy really have this ability to bring a smile to someone's face, to brighten perspectives and, lighten different experiences and enhance occasions. But, at the same time, people really do understand that chocolate and candy are treats. In the US, people eat chocolate and candy about 2 to 3 times per week, which averages just 40 calories and 1 teaspoon of added sugar per day, which really just goes to show that people do get this idea that chocolate and candy are treats.
Now, are you seeing, with the focus on trying to decrease a little bit of the sugar that's in our diets, are there any substitutions or things that are taking place now in the recipes for some of these chocolate items or just sweet treats in general?
Yeah, that's such a great question. America's chocolate and candy companies really look to meet consumers where they want to be met. And so that means for people who are managing their sugar intake, that might mean a smaller pack size or having a variety of packaging options so that people can, maybe enjoy a small treat or have a package that they can reseal. But it also means meeting some different dietary preferences or needs, as well as different flavor preferences. So all of that is encompassed within the innovation that we see throughout the industry in so many different ways.
Yeah, and you spoke earlier when we talked about the different types of sweets that are out there right now. A lot of them cause us as adults to regress back to childhood and remember some of those childhood memories when we eat some of the things like the taffy from the boardwalk and certain things like that. Are you seeing any changes in packaging or kind of going back to that retro type of thing to attract a different clientele or just keep people engaged overall?
I mean, nostalgia is very hot right now. We like to call it nostalgia because it's a lot of companies that are taking a classic product and putting a unique spin on it to modernize it so that people can enjoy it right alongside their classic favorites. If people like a certain flavor profile or a certain product, they might also like this other product that's similar to it. And like you said, people have such a strong connection to chocolate and candy, a lot of that is tied up in some nostalgia. So whether it's something from their childhood or a particular treat that they loved as part of a certain experience, they're looking for those connections.
Carly, where can people go to find out a little more about the Confectioners Association and those treats that are out there?
Yeah, for tips for treating and so many more resources, visit nationalcandymonth.com. And then please join the conversation on social media using the hashtag National Candy Month.
Thank you so much for joining us in the studio today, Carly. We look forward to seeing more of those sweet treats that come out there from the next expo.
Thank you so much for having me. And again, have a great National Candy Month.
Well, if you've got a sweet tooth, this is the month to have it. National Candy Month.
We're going to introduce you to another incredible chef, Marcus Samuelson, on some plant-based options that you can barbecue up this summer, and that way maybe you can make your diet just a little bit healthier. Let's see what he's cooking.
Backyard barbecues are in full swing, but it can be tough to accommodate all of your guests. Lucky for us, we have celebrity chef Marcus joining us. Marcus, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. So I understand veggies can be a nice little touch to a backyard barbecue. Can you tell us what you're working with this summer?
Of course. I mean, vegetables, first of all, it's grilling season. It's finally barbecue season. And I love grilling just like anybody else, right? It's the time where the family gets together. And, vegetables and fruits is such a great option. And you want to make sure you trust where the vegetables and fruit is coming from. So our friends at Cox Farms have really set us up so you can do this all year round, right? You have this beautiful greenhouse farm, so totally can trust it. No bad pesticides, no bad chemicals in the food whatsoever, right? And you can get it locally grown, and they're going to be delicious all year round. So today, I'm doing this vegetables, beautiful salad. I'm grilling my mushroom. I have this crisp lettuce on top, finishing it off with some really nice cucumber and tomatoes, right? Look at these tomatoes, they're beautiful. And the key here is really glazing the vegetables, whether that's a sweet potato, whether that's peppers, glazing them so they get that umami flavors. I got these beautiful peppers on the grill. That's that red sauce I have here. That's the vinaigrette, that's the bottom vinaigrette. Just like you would, think about the way you would cook a fish or meat on the grill. Same thing goes into vegetables. You want to char, you want to get beautiful char on the flavors here. So this is what I got, my red pepper bottom sauce here. I got my mushrooms, and I'm glazing it with miso. And this combination between a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of lemon zest, a little bit of garlic and soy, and I'm glazing my vegetable with that. That sets me up so it's going to be beautiful caramelized. And this beautiful crispy lettuce that I'm going to put on top. It's come from a great farm called Bright Farms. So you have this crispy, crunchy, really delicious flavors on the grill.
Man, you make that look so easy, just like you did on Iron Chef. But what are some tips you have for regular folks like me that might have some blunders when they get to the grill this summer?
Well, I mean, first of all, have fun with it and bring the family and friends, right? Grilling should be really this moment of where you hang out, where you celebrate your friends and family. And I think that's the joy in cooking outside, the joy in grilling. Then, it's obviously easier when you can trust where your vegetables and your produce come from, right? So when you have something, what's great here with Cox Farm is that nationwide, right? So nationwide, you can get great, beautiful produce all year long. So once you have the trust and you know it's going to be about a recipe that you are familiar with, I think that sets you up for a really good cookout, right? And then, of course, flavors. This flavor combination between miso, fermentation, sweetness, and a little bit of lemon zest and garlic, you can have that on anything. You can have that on your peppers. You can glaze that on your sweet potato. You can glaze that on your cauliflower. So you're guaranteed this beautiful caramelized flavor, right? So that's really when it meets this glaze, it's going to caramelize, and that's how the meat, or in this case, the vegetable, is going to taste fantastic.
And make it sound so simple. What's a secret ingredient you're looking forward to using this summer?
It's really about, I love going to the store or the farmer's market and just feeling like, okay, what's talks to me, right? And when you have peppers like these beautiful, right? You know, for me, it's like that gets me going, right? I want to char them, I want to grill them, I want to add a little bit of salt and pepper to them. And a pepper like this, you can stuff it, would be amazing. You can get some little bit of rice going and beans going, you have them stuffed. But you can also just serve them here like we've done. We blended it and it became really a sauce, which adds so much flavor. So something like this, and of course corn. It's summertime, so corn.
Yes, love that, love that. Can you talk a little bit about the future of food and Cox Farms and what they're working on?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Cox Farm's really hitting it on what is present and future of food. Trust is food safety is so important, but also think about, you know, the green initiative. You want to make sure when you do something like a greenhouse farm, you don't have to worry about, think about so much about, there's been fires across the country, like in California and places like that. You don't have to worry about a really big storm or bad rain and flooding. So you can control how you grow something, both from weather, which is really, really important, but also you can control it from, you know, bad chemicals and pesticides. So I think when you have a controlled environment and you have a network of farms across the country, you're really setting up both the locally grown, but also the guarantee that you can supply all year round and get people inspired to cook great food all year out.
Amazing, amazing. Where can people go for more information or to see what you're up to this summer?
You know, you can of course go on Cox website and figure out, you know, get inspired and get great website. Follow me on Marcus Cooks. I'm cooking all over the country this summer. I'm really, really excited. Anytime you can cook outside and you have some great, beautiful vegetables and fruit. And, you know, don't sleep on this beautiful grilled strawberry cobbler. It's really, really delicious as well. Traditional cobbler recipe. The only difference here is that we're grilling the strawberries. There's tons of great fruit that you can put on that grill, whether it's strawberries or pineapple or oranges, that gives that caramelized, beautiful taste as well.
Awesome. Chef, thanks so much for joining us. Looking forward to some veggies on the grill this summer.
Yes.
And have a great rest of your day and a great summer.
We want to thank you so much for tuning into your Monday morning edition of Wasatch Weekends. We love getting to be here to bring you all of this great information on things that you can enjoy this month, like dairy, candy, and maybe some plant-based options for you to get out there and make on the barbecue. Thank you again so much for tuning in. I've been your host, Maddie Evans, and we'll see you on Friday.